Hi, yes, here we go. We're just gonna go for it. Wonder how haggard I'm gonna make myself look in the thumbnail. Try and be as much clickbaity as possible. But here we go, unshaven, and we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna make the video. As you can see, it's not going to be as serious as the thumbnail makes it be, but we're going to have fun anyway. So here we go. So hello, yes, I'm Cameron Bain. I'm trying to be traditionally published right now, writing mysteries and thrillers, and I'm very close to that hopefully coming true. Just waiting on an agent to get back to me. I hope everything works out. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell a story about how I self-published a couple years ago, and it was a big mistake and a waste of time and money. And it's not gonna be as dour as I'm making it sound. So yes, self-publishing. So back in 2020 2021, it was COVID, and I had gotten a little well, disheartened is the right word to use. Disheartened from all the rejections I had gotten, and it didn't seem like my dream of publishing would ever come true. I was very young and eager, and my dreams weren't coming true. And I was like, oh my god, it's never gonna happen. So I decided, hey, why not try self-publishing? I'd seen some, authors succeed that way, and I thought, hey, maybe I should do that. So I watched a bunch of YouTubers tell me how to do it, and then I followed everything. And so I prepared my manuscripts that weren't good enough to be traditionally published, and they were bad. They were all bad. Everything I'd written back then was bad. I don't know why I thought I could self-publish. And then I prepared the manuscripts. I had them professionally edited. I bought covers, and I got good descriptions, and I researched keywords, everything, and I put them up on Amazon KDP, so you say, Kindle Direct Publishing. And I was like, okay, here we go. This is fun. This is great. Here we go. And I lost thousands of dollars, and no one bought any of the books. I'm not going to go into the history of self-publishing as a whole. That'd be too long of a video. But I'll tell you about the books I published. Two were horror novels, each around about 70,000 words. And one was a 200,000 word fantasy book. I published them, and no one really wanted them. I was actually working on a fourth novel at the time about a pandemic, like everyone was in 2020. Anyone watching this, publishing, probably knows, how it feels with querying, getting rejections upon rejections, and it really starts to hurt you a little bit. It's just part of the process. It doesn't hurt as much as the years go by, but at the time, I was still new to publishing, and I thought, oh, my dream is never gonna come true. And 2020 was all about people finding their own way to I don't know, finding their own way to make money outside of normal conventions. I have a friend who started, she had a YouTube video she cultivated for years, and then it really took off in 2020. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do that then. Maybe I can try and, self-publish. But that did not work out. I was young at the time. I was, 22, 23. And I thought, hey, maybe these gatekeepers and all these guardrails that are in place, I can kind of, sidestep them, and I can find success. People might like my books, but maybe those guardrails and gatekeepers serve a purpose, because again, the books I tried to publish were awful. Thankfully, I published under a pseudonym, so they're not my official debuts, and I got rid of them all. You can't find them anymore. I deleted them off Amazon. My friends and family did buy them, and they were very supportive, but I kind of wish they had never seen them. I thought I could make a lot of money off of Kindle Unlimited. Not a lot of money, like a living off Kindle Unlimited, which, those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a subscription service where authors get paid by how many pages you read, and it turns books into content for people to endlessly stream, like Netflix or something like that. If someone reads your whole book, you get, a little bit, but if they read a couple pages, you get barely anything. I still have Kindle Unlimited. I still read Kindle Unlimited books. And truth be told, I did make more money off Kindle Unlimited than people actually buying physical copies of books. There was one person in Canada who bought all my books and left good reviews, which was surprising. I didn't advertise in Canada. But again, the books were awful. So to get people to actually see your books, you have to go through Amazon advertising, and this is where Amazon makes the majority of their money. They don't really make that much money off people buying your books. They make having authors pay for advertising on their platform. And yeah, so I paid for ads, and then it shows the books would show up. You know, if you scroll down under like if you're buying a book off Amazon, you scroll down, a lot of times you'll see like those recommended, and now they're all basically just like self-published books. You don't really see as many traditional published books recommended, and those are authors basically bidding for ad space and hoping that you'll click on those ads and then buy their books or check them out through Kindle Unlimited. And thousands upon thousands of people are bidding for these ad spaces. But I mean, newsflash, if your book's not good, no amount of good advertising is gonna make people want to buy it or check out your other books in the future. And I don't have any ill will towards Amazon. I mean, they offered a service and I paid for it. I just wish I had the foresight to be like, this is a terrible idea and a waste of time and money. Because again, books were awful. You know, the agents and editors who were rejecting me, they had a point. And that was, your books aren't good enough for publication. So, and then I thought, hey, self-publishing is working. Luckily, there's this thing coming out called Kindle Vella. I don't know if any of you remember that. You could basically buy sections of books that could then be published. It was like an ongoing series where you'd buy tokens and then buy like chapters of books being published. And I thought, this is great. You know, I was too late for Amazon to stand out on Amazon self-publishing, but this Kindle Vella, there we go. I can stand out that way. So I wrote like 62 episodes of a fantasy series, which was like around maybe like 70,000 words, 60 or 70,000 words, I don't really remember. And then Kindle Vella launched, and I published all the episodes, and no one bought them. No one bought them. No one. My mom did. My mom bought them. Thank you, Mom. Mom buys everything. But again, it was a waste of time and money. This was all time I could have been focusing on, you know, improving my craft and trying to focus on getting traditionally published, and yet I was following these trends of self-publishing that were leading me nowhere and will probably lead you nowhere. After losing a bunch of money and time, I turned back to traditional publishing, and it still took, well, I haven't even succeeded yet, but it took me 3 years to get a full manuscript request, and then writing about 6 novels in that time, all of which were all rejected because they were bad. But now I'm very close to getting an agent and hopefully getting my book published finally. Yeah, I'm really hopeful it all works out this time. I know trying to go traditionally published is difficult because there's so many things that are outside of your control: agents, editors, market conditions. It can feel a little impossible. I understand all of that. However, I think there's a lot of benefits that come with traditional publishing that self-publishing just can't offer, and an agent now thinks one of my books is good enough to possibly even be sold. That means a lot more to me than anything I ever did on self-publishing. And nowadays self-publishing is just kind of, it's weird. It's kind of being taken over by AI. Like all AI covers, AI words, AI stories, which doesn't make any sense to me, really. With traditional publishing, you know, at least for now, you can be guaranteed that it's written by an actual human, at least for now. So I started doing a little bit of research for this video, and when you type in self-publishing, you get like berated on YouTube. You just see all these videos like, oh, make $10,000 a month self-publishing. Here's financial independence using AI writing, to all these like weird like finance bro buzzwords that don't mean anything. And it's like, why are we doing this? Why would you watch that? I don't understand. You should be trying to make the best books you can possibly write, not trying to game the system and be like, oh, finance bro, financial independence. I don't understand all this weird stuff online. There's like endless YouTube videos of people being like, oh, here's the secret to making millions of dollars self-publishing. And they never talk about how to write a good book. They just talk about how to game the system, basically. You know, it's, you know, writing shouldn't be like a side hustle, which I don't even understand what that is. I don't understand any of this. I'm so old. Ugh. And all these like self-published experts, they don't even self-publish books. They self-publish like guides on how to make money self-publishing, which again, they're all just scams. You know, how do you get rich in a gold rush? You sell shovels. You don't, you know, mine for gold. Although nowadays it's making YouTube videos selling this dream of, oh, you don't have to put any work in, you just have to do these simple tricks, and then somehow that's gonna equate to you making millions of dollars through self-publishing. I don't get it. Their product is coaching. They're selling like courses or all this like hidden knowledge stuff, like, oh, we've got the secret to making all this money and all you have to do is follow our 10-point plan. And it's like, this is all just a scam. You know, they don't care about making good books. They care about making products. In this case, the product is selling a dream and people buy it. Okay, so closing thoughts. I don't have any ill will towards Amazon. They did what I paid them to do. The only problem was my books were awful, and but now they're not as awful. You know, maybe if I had stuck it out, you know, I could have been successful, but I doubt it. I think I would have just wasted a lot more time and money. I just had to be more patient and trust the traditional publishing process a little bit. If you want to hear more about my meeting with an agent, I mentioned it in my New York City video. When I went to New York City and met with an agent and had gelato. I suppose all I can say is I made a mistake and I've learned from it. And hopefully this video helps people not make the same mistakes in the future. And as for you, if you want to pursue self-publishing, you can do whatever you want. You know, you don't have to listen to me. Again, I just ranted about how you shouldn't listen to people on YouTube about self-publishing, and yet here I am. So you can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me. I would just say though, probably your book's not going to reach an audience, it's not going to be successful, and you're going to waste a lot of time and money that you could have been spending working on traditionally publishing, making sure your books are in the best position possible, researching agents. So before you spend thousands of dollars self-publishing, and don't use AI, just don't use AI. Before you self-publish, just think, is this really going to work? Is this book really good enough that's been rejected by all these agents and editors, really good enough to stand out on Amazon? And if the answer is not a definite yes, I'd recommend not self-publishing. Maybe just wait and be patient. But, you know, if you self-publish and you're fine with no one buying your books ever, or maybe selling 1 or 2 copies after spending thousands of dollars on advertising, I mean, good. I'm happy it's working out for you. Again, maybe I'm wrong. You know, feel free to comment. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. All right, bye.